James Harden now. He feels he deserved the MVP award over Steph Curry, telling the NBA.com, quote, "I am the best player in the league. I believe that. I thought I was last year, too. I know I was the MVP. That's 100% given all the things that happened last season. Credit the Golden State Warriors for an unbelievable year. They had an unbelievable team, coaching staff, everything. But that award means most valuable to your team. We finished second in the West, which nobody thought we were going to do at the beginning of the year, even when everybody was healthy. We were near the top and having the most injuries. We won our division, in a division where every single team made the playoffs. There's so many factors. I led the league in total points scored, minutes played. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Steph, but I felt I deserved the most valuable player." Stephen A., do you have a problem with Harden's comments?
Somewhat. I don't want to make a big deal out of it because I do believe he is a superstar. He is big time. He can ball, and he is to be highly respected. Having said that, he's got to kind of get some of his facts straight. Number one, he did not lead the league in minutes played. That would happen to be Jimmy Butler of the Chicago Bulls. That's number one. Number two, when you look at his numbers, 27 and 7, 44% shooting, 37% shooting from three-point range. He was absolutely sensational, particularly when you consider the fact that Dwight Howard missed about 40 games. Ultimately, Patrick Beverley went down. You have to look at it from that perspective, and without a doubt, James Harden carried the Houston Rockets. He is the star of that franchise. He is the star in that city. They go where he takes them. There is no question about it. But let's not think that that is a license to minimize what Steph Curry accomplished. Steph Curry did average 23.7 to James Harden 27.4. But he also averaged more assists, a little bit 7.7 as opposed to just 7 for Harden. But he also played considerably less minutes. And why was that? Because the Golden State Warriors were annihilating competition while the Houston Rockets, dare we say, made things far more interesting than they needed to be. And if we're also being honest, for the most part, Steph Curry outperformed James Harden in the postseason. Obviously, the votes probably were tallied before that. That had nothing to do with it, but there was confirmation about Steph Curry's value, not just as an individual offensive juggernaut because he's the best marksman, the best sniper that we have seen in NBA history, but also because of the fact that no matter how talented Golden State is, his greatness still managed to shine brightly. And when I look at it from that perspective, as much as I respect the hell out of James Harden because he is to be respected, he is that great, I can't take anything away from what I saw Steph Curry do. Steph Curry boogied on people, shot the lights out, stepped up, exploded. James Harden did his thing, but Steph Curry did his thing as well. And he also made it look a little bit easier. And last but not least, Skip, and this is for you personally because I'm sure you'll appreciate what I'm about to say to you. Before the Houston Rockets ended their season, regular season, winning their last 3 games, in between, along the lines of their last 8 games of the season, they had a back-to-back encounter against the San Antonio Spurs.
Watched every second of them.
They had an opportunity to lock in a number 2 seed, okay? And even though they ultimately ended up getting it because the Clippers flopped, James Harden shot 40% in one game and shot like 26% in another.
Yep.
They lost both games to the San Antonio Spurs. And this is when he and Steph Curry would nip and tuck for the league MVP honors, when all of us were going back and forth saying, wait a minute, we going to see something. And James Harden went against them, and they flopped. Steph Curry, no matter who he went against, handled his business when it was time. That's why he got league MVP. I think he deserved it, and although I respect the hell out of James Harden for feeling otherwise, because his talents mandate that he feels that way, he should feel that way, I personally believe he's incorrect. I think Steph Curry got the award that he deserved. And I don't think it was right for the Players Association with their award ceremony to give that MVP trophy to James Harden, that Players Trophy. I thought that was at least somewhat disrespectful to Steph Curry.
Okay, quick thoughts on the 2 San Antonio games. James Harden got Kawhi'd in both games, as in Kawhi Leonard.
I know that.
Okay, so I did not hold those 2 games against Harden in the big picture, like when we're talking about who's the MVP, and I think you and I agreed that he had a strong case for MVP. We both, in the end, maybe me a little ahead of you. I was a Steph guy. You hung in for a while with Harden, and you made a good case, and then in the end you said, no, it's Steph. But here's my problem with your problem with this. It just seems hypercritical, and we know on this show you're the one who's always hypercritical of NBA stars. I'm always the objective one and the reasoned one, right? But to me, in this case, you know, you're being hypercritical because I don't have any problem with what James Harden said. What do you want him to say? And I do think he was empowered by the Players Award. I think, you know, it rebuilt some of his confidence and his faith in himself and the league, because all of his brothers in the league, or who I still don't know exactly who votes on the Players Award, but somehow he was selected as their MVP, and I think it meant a lot to him. So it made him feel strongly enough to say, hey, I still think I'm the best player in the league. I got no problem with that. Do I agree with that? No, I don't agree with that, but I don't think less of him for saying that. I actually think more of him because he's really good, and I think they are going to be really good this year. And we'll see when crunch time comes. Like you said, he had those 2 bad games that they were in the playoffs that didn't count against him in the regular season. But the 2 worst games of the year for him was Game 3 at home and then Game 5 at Golden State when he went 3 for 16 and 2 for 11. Those were bad. Those said you're not the best player in the game. But go ahead.
But let's be clear about something here. Number one, that was a real funny joke that you told, that I'm more hypercritical than you.
Well, we all know
on
that.
Anything,
yeah.
On anything,
you
let alone
overreact.
NBA players.
Yeah.
That is
More
straight.
emotional.
That is straight comedy. That's number one.
It's the truth.
Number 2, it's not the truth. Number 2, let's be clear about something here. I don't have a problem with him feeling the way that he feels. I don't have a problem with it, period. We're just talking. But what I'm saying is, it was how elaborative he was in his explanation as to why he deserved it that I disagree with. I just disagree with it. I think when you take into account the fact that Golden State was blowing out a few folks, Steph Curry only averaged 32 minutes a game. You know why? Because he could afford to.
Yeah.
Because he didn't need to play those minutes, because the team collectively was handling its business and running people off the floor. Houston made things far more interesting. James Harden did a lot of damage, and we know he can do anything on the offensive side of the ball that he wants to, but primarily he spent a lot of time dribbling, hogging the ball, and shooting.
Yeah, he did.
Now, he was effective, but that's what he did. And so what I'm saying to you is that this ain't &1. This ain't Rutgers Park. You understand? This is the NBA. And your ability to do that doesn't warrant you deserving the MVP award. I think he's a superstar. Personally, I don't even call him a star. I think James Harden is a superstar, deserving of all of our respect. But when he elaborates like that, then you are really making the case for yourself and diminishing the case of Steph Curry. And I don't believe you can diminish the case of Steph Curry. And he didn't disrespect Steph Curry in any way. I'm not trying to say he did that. I'm just simply saying the arguments that he made for himself against Steph Curry doesn't hold water entirely, because there are nuggets of information to refute that. Again, Jimmy Butler played the most minutes. Again, Steph Curry didn't have to play the minutes that James Harden had to play, not just because, you know, they were winning, they were blowing people out.
Yeah.
And despite the team that surrounded Steph Curry, he still shined. Now, I'll tell you how James Harden can earn league MVP. He doesn't get to hog the ball if Ty Lawson's on the team with him, which he is now. Because Ty Lawson can ball. And Ty Lawson is a point guard. He get his personal life in order, and we all pray that he will, because he's a good guy. The bottom line is, James Harden, if he does what he did last season with Ty Lawson on the floor with him, then he will deserve league MVP, because it won't be hogging the ball, taking most of the shots. It will be within the framework of an offense that will make Houston even more lethal than they were in the postseason last year.
Yep.
And I think that that's what will help elevate James Harden to league MVP honors.
Okay, so to sum this up, the only problem I would have had with James Harden is if he had said he's the best player in the city of Houston, because he just lost that to Dallas Keuchel, who dominated your New York Yankees.
No
and the beard you should fear in Houston is not James Harden, it's Dallas Keuchel, Dallas in Houston. I think you would agree with that, actually.
When I saw the note that Alex Rodriguez is hitless in his last 19 postseason at-bats, this is not the day that I'm in a position to come back at you for such a statement. I'm so disgusted with Alex Rodriguez. I'm so disgusted with him. We're playing for CeCe now. We're playing for CeCe now. This is what he said. And what did I say immediately when he said that, Skip? I had a problem with it. I said, well, if he goes out and stinks up the joint. Did you play for CeCe then? What does he do? He goes out and stinks up the joint. I'm just so disgusted. You got me today. I'm going to leave it alone.
Well, where I got you is that Dallas Keuchel just finished pitching 22 total innings against your New York Yankees this year, 2 regular and 1 playoff game, and they still haven't scored on him.
Keep your chin up, superstar. All right, stay in New York. Odell Beckham is catching a lot more than just footballs. He's catching heat from the Bills. Herm Edwards will join us after the break, and we'll get into it.